Good afternoon, and welcome to Pinhole Quilting. Pete and I are finally back. It's been a case of us travelling all over the UK, from Cornwall to Scotland, and pretty much every point in between, it feels like. Hasn't it, Pete? It's been a whirlwind.
It does. We've been all over the place, which is great.
So rather like our customers, I mean, it actually reflects the fact that our customers are in every part of the UK and beyond, and Handy Quilter customers are all around the world. So welcome to everybody, not just in the UK and Ireland that are our main customer base, but to anybody else who might have a Handy Quilter or be interested in long arm quilting from further afield. Welcome to you as well. Sometimes we pick up some customers in the States. In previous times we've had customers in Australia and stuff. Since Festival of Quilts, we've not had this Facebook session so regularly, but we hope to pick that up back again. Now we've been doing a lot of installations as a result of Festival, so it's taken us out, and there's been a lot of other things happening as well. So time has been a little short recently, hasn't it? A bit like us, Pete. A little bit like us, a little short.
Yes, but of course we do have some more shows coming up, so that's going to take us out on a Friday.
It is.
We do try to do Facebook Live if we can on a Friday at a show, but it can be really difficult sometimes because obviously our customers there and then are the priority. Absolutely,
and not only that, sometimes the internet, the tinternet, with the Wi-Fi or whatever, is not sufficient bandwidth to take our Facebook Live. So sometimes it hasn't worked for us and we've just had to ditch it before we've even started. So anyway, we hope that aside from those dates when we're going to be at various quilt shows, that we can see you here. And also we'll be doing a few more Zoom classes. I've got things in plan for 2025 where we'll be doing more Zoom classes. And Katie and Michelle and I, as well as Pete and Mark, we've got some ideas for things that we want to do, mostly me, Katie and Michelle. It's really nice to have other people to sort of bounce ideas off, in addition to Pete and Mark, and they're quilters. So we get some different ideas from them. So 2025, look out for new workshops. But let's just talk about 2024. There's still plenty of it left, even though this morning we had mince pies. I can't believe it. We have mince pies. It's not even, I mean, what is it? We're not even October.
Never too soon for a mince pie.
There is a saying in this building, never too soon for a mince pie. So, Pete, have we got anybody that happens to have picked up the fact that we're actually back?
Yes, I'm pleased to say, yes.
Oh,
we've got
good.
Glenys down in Kent.
Oh, fantastic. Hello, Glenys. Always nice to hear from Glenys. She does some beautiful work along with her compatriots, Jan, and there's a couple of other people down there whose names just temporarily out of my head.
And of course they've got a new Sweet 16 owner in their midst now as well. Another of their friends has recently purchased a Sweet 16.
Yeah, that was one of our ex-demo ones, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
So ex-demo, let's just talk a moment, nice little segue onto Preloved long arms. In a moment, I'm going to be demonstrating on a lovely Preloved long arm. So if you're thinking about small space in your sewing room, you could just about make space for about 1 metre square. You could be doing what Glenys and her friends do, which is use a small sit down. And I think it's a great way to get larger quilts done where you don't have the space for a big frame system. And we've got, as a result of an upgrade, with a customer who had a Pfaff power quilter, she upgraded to a stand-up frame system and eventually decided to part with her Pfaff power quilter. So it's on a very, very reasonable £2,750 for a 16-inch throat space long arm. So if that's what you're looking at, if that's what you're thinking about and contemplating, how am I ever going to finish these quilt tops, then consider a sit-down long arm. It doesn't take up a lot of space. But we're also going to be talking about the newer one, which is the Moxie ST, a lovely, lovely machine. So if you want to go new, great. We've got the latest version for you. We'll be demonstrating today. If you're looking at a Preloved, then we've got a lovely example here in our Pfaff power quilter, which is was made by Handy Quilter for Pfaff. So it comes out the same factory. I even saw them there myself when they were making them. Okay, Pete, any other questions, queries, answers, or?
Well, we'll just say hello to a few more people. There's
Great.
Isabel from Spain.
Oh,
who we
yes.
met this year at
We
Festival.
did. That was nice to meet Isabel and her husband over in Festival of Quilts.
Helen and Jeff at the Cloth House.
Oh, yes. Now, Helen and Jeff, they've done some massive renovations in terms of converting a fairly ordinary looking garage to a fantastic space called the Cloth House with Moxie McTavish. Was it Moxie McTavish? I forgot what name of it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Helen and Jeff, maybe we'll be seeing you at the Newcastle Quilt Show that's coming up.
Yeah, so that's the other thing that we wanted to mention to you. We talked about quilt shows, the fact we won't be here every Friday. In fact, we've got Newcastle Quilt Show coming up, a brand new quilt show, which is hosted by Grosvenor at the Newcastle racetrack, which is very close to the city centre. We shall be going up. We'll be having a couple of our lovely customers on the stand with us. That's Carol and Graham.
Both of whom are also online this afternoon.
Oh, lovely. Hello to Carol and Graham. So Graham's got a lovely Amara with Pro Stitcher, and Carol has a beautiful Moxie 18-inch XL with a Pro Stitcher Lite. And this is great because it means that if you're interested in a long arm, you can talk to people who've gone through the same process that you have. Can I really justify it to myself? Am I going to use it? How do I use it? What are the pros and cons? Tell me what I need. We had a great example where Carol helped a lovely new customer, Trish, who decided to go with an Amara Pro Stitcher that we installed last week. I'm not sure that I still posted that photo, I can't remember. Anyway, she spoke to Trish. Trish went over to Carol's house, had a look at the Moxie, and Carol gave her a great demonstration. In fact, I think she was there for several hours with the dog, and eventually she decided to go for the Amara Pro Stitcher as a result of Carol's help and advice on things like accessories and stuff like that, because that's one of the things you don't know about when you get a new long arm. Do I really need all these other things? So having someone who's gone through the same process is a great way to start. All right, so Newcastle Quilt Show, the dates are?
The dates are, I was just looking at them, very soon actually. So they're Friday the 11th to Sunday the 13th of October. So it's only a couple of weeks away.
Gosh, yeah, and we just came back from there, didn't we, Pete?
We did.
Yes.
So it's just down the road from Julia in Northumberland as well. So maybe we'll see you there.
Oh, would that be nice to see Julia? Yeah, because it's hard for Julia to get away because she has these lovely dogs. Actually, as a lot of our customers do have lovely dogs. Indeed.
They need to find dog sitters.
Yes, dog sitters. Yes, I have a friend who does that as a job. Okay.
Lots of people talking about rain, including Marianne in London, who, although she says it's temporarily not raining, but we've had a lot of rain. Michelle is online. Lisa as well. Hi, Lisa. Installed Lisa's machine in Cardiff recently.
Yes. And Lisa's posted, we have a separate Facebook group. If you get a handy quilter in the UK, there's a couple of groups that you can join. There's an international long arm learning curve and there's the UK long arm learning curve. They're for people who've got a handy quilter. So, you know, we're not sort of talking about other machines or types or whatever. And it's not for people who are interested. It's actually when you've got one, it's the kind of support that we have amongst our customers and with educators from around the world that can help you make the most of your long arm. And if you've got questions and we're not around, or even if you've got questions that are more appropriate from other customers, which is sometimes happens, of course, it's useful to have that resource. So anyway, Lisa's on there. She posted how much she's loving her new long arm. So congratulations, Lisa. We're delighted to welcome you and all the other customers whose machines that we've installed recently to the long arm family with Handy Quilter. So thank you for getting your long arm. We appreciate it.
I'll do a few more hellos because it's been so long since we've been online, isn't it? So there's Jill Bailey up in Lancashire.
Yes.
Not very good cycling weather, Jill, is it?
No. Was it Jill that came by with her husband?
Yes.
Ah, yes. Yes, we talk about bikes a lot now because Pete and I have got into cycling. Not that we've been doing a lot recently because we don't take the bikes with us, but even though that would be probably quite a good way of keeping fit.
I tend to be a bit of a fair weather cyclist as well, it has to be said.
Yeah, it's a bit like our scuba diving, isn't it, Pete? It's if it's not warm, we don't like it. We get cold.
Jackie Goffin, hello Jackie.
Jacqueline as well.
Leslie down in Cornwall.
Oh, fantastic. Leslie, whose machine we installed recently, right?
Yes.
Yes. Hope that's all going well. Seemed to be going on really well, actually. Yeah, I love that space.
Georgie, who we saw recently on another class.
Yes, and yeah, we were talking about Georgie the other day because there was a customer here who really reminded us of Georgie. Yeah, it's always lovely to see Georgie. And she was very kind. She gifted me this book called Wabi Sabi, and I've been sort of dipping into it and stuff and reading it, and it's a really interesting book. I'm loving it, Georgie. So anybody else?
Lillian Gaylor up in County Durham. Michelle
Hi,
says she's got sunshine in Cheltenham. She's not so sad that she missed the mince pies because she doesn't eat them.
No. No, but I thought you didn't eat, what did we have the other day? And suddenly I saw Michelle dipping into the carrot cake.
It's like one of those vegetarians that eats bacon, I think.
Only very, very intermittently, it has to be said. Michelle's very good. She's not a carbs person.
Karen in Anglesey.
Yeah, Karen in Anglesey is normally first off the mark. Hey, it's great to connect with everybody again. I feel like I've missed you guys. I've missed you. And, you know, the thing is, it's one of those things that when we're not here, it's actually quite hard to do because you're in the middle of something else. Whereas here on a Friday, I'm surrounded by beautiful quilts by Linda Jackson. We've got our lovely domestics behind us. We've got Joe Avery coming tomorrow. And if you're local and you're not doing something or you don't mind driving 2 hours, come down. Come and see Jo. She's going to do a great talk. Tomorrow afternoon, be here for 1 o'clock, starts at 1:30. There we go. Throw that gauntlet down. Come on up, come on down. Come on from wherever you're coming from. And come and join us. And be with like-minded people. And thanks, V, if V sees this, thank you, V, booking. I saw you booking today. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Right.
I haven't seen V for a while.
Okay, I'm sorry if I've missed people. Nicole has just come online as well. Nicole also down in Cornwall.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we spent a long time down with Nicole down in Cornwall, didn't we?
We did.
Yes. Okay, moving on. That was great. It was lovely to see them. They've moved fairly recently. So I was just thinking about sit-down long arms today. I thought we would just do a little focus on those, partly because this is our newest machine. It's the Moxie ST, and it's a lovely machine. We got it out of the box as Festival of Quilt started, and set it up within a very short space of time. It's got a little magnet at the front for my scissors, so I can't lose my scissors. Just sits there, right where you need it. And what I was going to do was just do a little bit of free motion quilting. So one of the things that we were doing this week was we had our lovely foundation class with the newest handy quilter owners, which was lovely and inspiring, and everybody got fired up so much that one of our customers who hadn't been to the foundation workshop, but she'd had a machine for a while, she even came back spontaneously the next day to do the rulers and fills class. So this is the panel that we use for the rulers and fills class, and we'll be doing another one in February, be going up on the website soon. So this is the panel. Carolyn and James and I designed this together. It was just a little collaboration, and then I put it up on CorelDRAW, and we printed that digitally. So we have these on our website, so they're great for practicing. Really, really good. And in fact, Michelle, who's working with us here at Pinhole Quilting, Michelle has done a panel like this using her Pro Stitcher as a way of learning Pro Stitcher, because you've got nice little borders and got circles and trying to put circles in circles, dividing squares up. We've got some nice little sashing things, and we've got flying geese. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant for doing with Pro Stitcher. And in fact, this is the free motion one I'm working on. And in fact, I don't know whether I showed you this, Michelle. I meant to show you. This is partly free motioned, but it's actually got a whole load of thread on there. Oh, that's come on. It's actually got this bit here. That's Pro Stitcher. So doing like an angled border. So you do one on each side to create this sort of dimensional effect, like a 45-degree mitre using Pro Stitcher. So we can set up multi-point and then get it to skew to fit. So that's quite a nice way of doing a border, particularly where it's got a mitered edge. The rest of it is actually free motion and real work. But yeah, so you can use that panel. There's the other one as well, which is one we do for the feathers class that we did with Helen Burnham. And that was the panel that Helen and I designed together as a way of practicing for our free motion feathers. So that one is also available. I've got Helen's panels are over here. You just grab these. Helen did this one. I think this is beautiful.
That's fabulous, that sample.
Yeah.
Look at it.
That was the one we were out of stock of. We just got it back in stock. So that one is the square circles and border. I really love the use of the thread. The idea of it doing it as of making it as a variegated, a sort of ombre effect, was to show the impact of different thread colour on different coloured backgrounds, the intensity of backgrounds and colours. And it's something that until you sort of really played with it, you learn so much every time you do a quilt about thread colour and your background colours. This is a double panel. Helen did the two panels together. The panel on the website is half this. So that one looks fantastic as well. And it's just really interesting, as I say, seeing the different thread colours. Great way of playing with colour. Just happens to be some of my favourite colours, which you can tell because even my phone cover is now in that colour.
And we have, of course, put together a glide thread pack with selected colours to match those panels.
So, let's just get on and do a few things that I just wanted to share with you, a few bits and pieces. For those of you who maybe don't have a long arm yet or thinking about getting one, this is takes up about a metre square. It's stitch regulated. We've got two magic eyes here and here. Okay, and what they do is they measure how fast the fabric is being moved. So that when we're in stitch regulated mode, which we can select on the screen, we select how many stitches per inch we want. And in precision mode, which is literally, if you move it, it detects movement and it'll do the 12 stitches per inch. In the cruise or continuous, it'll just sort of be a bit more free-flowing. And it means that we've got this, what's called the cruise speed, which is 150 stitches per minute. Something that kind of makes more sense when you actually use it. So, first of all, I just wanted to show, what if I just wanted to change this thread colour, which is is a gold colour, to something that I want to use on here. So I want to use on here, what colour do I want to use on here? I will use this variegated. So here we've got some of our newest threads. This is King Tut, a beautiful colour that a whole load of people last week went, can we have that in smaller spools as well?
So what colour is that?
It's called Paradise, King Tut Paradise. Colour number 1063. Absolutely gorgeous. Short variegations, 40 weight 3-ply cotton thread. And it's really smooth, it's beautiful. I'll need to change my my needle to use that one. And this one as well is very similar. This is the Fantastico. So this is a trilobal polyester. They're very similar ones. Love both of those. So I'm going to use the King Tut. I'll pull through by cutting the thread at the back. And if anybody's used an overlocker or a serger, you'll know that this is the quick way of pulling threads through. So we join the two thread ends, put them together like so, just a little twist, and then pull that through, make a very simple knot like that. When I pull it through, a couple of things to note. First of all, I don't pull it through from the needle. I just pull it out of that little guide above the needle and pull it through from there. When I get to the point where that little knot is going through the tension disc, like right now, I will ease those tension discs apart just to help it on its way, and that will come through then, and I've got it right here now.
So
Then-
Helen, yes, King Tut is cotton. It's very high quality, 100% Egyptian cotton, and it has a price to go with it. Cotton is much more expensive than polyester. But you do need good quality cotton to use on any long arm machine, and King Tut's probably one of the best.
Yeah. What I do at this point, before I go any further, is I just check how much tension is on that. Before I do any thread tests by actually putting it up under with the needle and fabric and stuff, I will now reduce that because I can already tell that's a full turn I've done. That's much better. So that's how I always do it. I don't want to waste time by having the thread break or really, really bad, even on my test fabric. Also, there is a little dot on the outside of this tension assembly here. You might want to put some Slowpoke or a little mark on here, a little sticker or something. That little dot will then tell you whether you've done quarter turn or half turn looser. The Moxies don't have a number, unlike the Amara, the Infinity, Forte, that sort of thing, and the Avanti. They actually have a number for the tension dial, but this doesn't. So that's a very useful way of knowing whether you've done a quarter turn, half turn, or a full turn. And it's also useful just to kind of get an idea of that spring that's behind the tension discs. If it's looking really compressed, you probably, even though you're tightening it and it's not feeling like it's getting any tighter, for example, you may well not have got the thread in your tension disc. So just pull on it, let it go while you're still pulling on it, and you will feel it suddenly increase. Now, the reason that we, of course, have permanent tension on is we don't have a presser foot mechanism on these machines. These are semi-industrial or industrial machines, really. We don't have a presser foot mechanism because it's only designed to do free motion quilting. And the presser foot mechanism on a domestic machine puts the presser foot down, but at the same time, it actually puts the tension discs together. And at that point, with a domestic machine, you've now got similar pressure to what you might experience here, but this is always on. All right. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Allen key that I just had, and I think I've lost again. There it is. I'm going to change the needle. I think there's an 18 in here. So with the King Tut, if you look on Superior Threads website, you'll find, I should just use the short end because that is quite tight, and then release it a little bit more. So the Superior Threads website's got a load of thread education on it, what they call threadology or thread education, and that will tell you, for example, for each of the threads that they do, what size of domestic needle or industrial needle for the long arms you will need. So we tend to use slightly bigger needles, but the key thing is whether the needle hole is filled by the thread. That's what we're doing. We're matching the two together. And my size 18 needle here is right for King Tut, so just check it's 110, which it is.
So all handy quilter machines are supplied with size 16 and size 18 needles, which are generally all the needles you will need for standard weight quilting threads like Glide or King Tut.
Okay, so I've just put the needle in. A couple of things to note. We did the foundation workshop, and it's amazing how we love it. Sometimes we love it when things go wrong in the foundation workshop because it tells us that people are learning, because then we can show them how to put it right. We had one of those this week, which is fine. Better to do it with us than to do it on your own and not know what's gone wrong. But basically, if the needle isn't all the way up, we can look at a sight hole here on the left-hand side. You won't be able to see it from where the camera is right now, but there's a little sight hole, and I check to make sure that that needle is right up as far as it will go. The butt of the needle needs to be in that sight hole. The second thing I'll do is just use this magnet. I think we're supplying these, aren't we?
We do.
With the new machines now, we're supplying a magnet. They're great because this little cylinder fits onto the groove that runs down the front of the needle. It fits on there, and what I can do now is just loosen off that needle clamp screw. I'm trying to not get my head in the camera, but in so doing I couldn't see where the hole was. I'm going to loosen that slightly. I'm going to put pressure onto the needle with my finger here, and I'm just going to then, by loosening it, just turn that needle until it is pointing dead at me. There we go.
Very useful little gadget that. If you don't have one, they are available on our website. Just search for needle magnet.
There we go. I think it's really reduced the issues that people have with shredding on the machines. And it's not necessarily when you're using Glide or King Tut that you might notice it. It's very curly, this thread.
It is.
But you will notice it if you're using an 80 weight or 100 weight thread, because then it's really obvious if it's going to be shredding. And what I do for this, as long as it's not, it's very, very curly. I don't know why it's so curly. I'm just going to trim that. And I'm just going to thread this up by going down the needle, the groove of the needle, and then it should just pop in, like that. See, I didn't even have to get close. By using the groove, I just go down last few millimeters of the groove, and it pops through the needle eye. I know that I've done it a load of times, obviously, but you know, we've not all got brilliant eyesight, and I don't like having to go bang up to the end of the machine in order to see what I'm doing. So that's why I do it like that.
So the Moxie ST, we've got a batch more machines coming in next week. I'm trying to find space in the warehouse, but it's upgradable. Should in the future you decide you want the machine on a frame, there is an upgrade kit so that you can put the Moxie ST as an 18-inch machine on a frame, just like the Moxie XL. So you're not burning your bridges if you initially go with the sit-down machine. So the week after the Newcastle show, we've got the Malvern show at the Malvern Showground. Okay, let's have a quick look at what you've been doing now then, Liz.
Okay.
Good. There we go, stitch regulated 12 stitches per inch.
So,
it's a very nice thread, that.
I'll just finish there, and I'll come back and do that at another time. But just variegated thread looks really nice on that background area as a fill. I've been using the sweet spots, and I'm going to do a similar thing on the Pfaff quilter. Let's just move over here.
So yes, this Pfaff machine is available as a Preloved. We've got a couple of other Preloved machines on our website, and we've got more coming up as well, mostly from people who have upgraded their machines. So whichever machine you might be interested in, please let us know, because let me think, following the Belfast show, we've sold 4 Preloved machines, and they've never appeared on our Preloved website because we found people who were already interested in a machine. I contacted them, and they've got their new machine before anybody else even knew about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think, and I did put that on the little email I sent out today, that if you are interested in a particular model, some of the older models like the Avanti really sell well on the second-hand market. And that, for example, is one of the sort of types of machine that goes really quickly, and we don't always have to put it up on the website. So I'm just going to pull this one through. This mechanism is identical to what's on the Moxie ST. Very, very similar. Lovely thing with the Pfaff is we've got actually 4 cone holders. So, I mean, when we're doing thread play, and typically on the sit-down, the stationary machines, we're quite often doing thread play, which is fantastic on these machines. So with that, with this one, you might have more than one thread through the needle. We might be talking about putting 2 together or 3 together. And I know that sounds a bit scary and a bit crazy, but hey, we are the crazy cats, and this is what we do. So I'm just going to pull that through, and there we go. I even pulled it through the needle, but don't do that at home. Don't do that at home. Just go as far as I did on the last one. But just showing you can do it if you've got a nice strong knot. I'd like to think I've got a reasonably strong knot. Let's have a look and see what's in my bobbin. I don't actually know what's in here. Let's have a look. Okay, that's a variegated green. That's okay. So I've put Fantastico on the top. Or is it Magnifico? I never remember. Fantastico. What I like to call the modestly named threads. Pop that in. On the Pfaff as well, there's like a little spring released protection for you. Oh, I didn't check the needle. Now I've threaded it up. I'll give it a go. With the Magnifico and the Fantastico, you can use a 16 sometimes. With the 16 needle, obviously there's a danger that you might get a bit of chafing. I think I've got the dullest scissors because I'll probably use them for something I really shouldn't have used them for. So when I'm cutting the thread, it's taken ages to cut through. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this up like I did before. So needle down, needle up. Very, very straightforward screen on the Pfaff. You just really on this main screen, it's got manual, doesn't have stitch regulation. It's got a maximum speed, 60%, and it is a, I think is it 15 or 1600 as an owner's manual here. And it's been extremely well looked after by the previous owner. As I said, that was Helen, and she's done a great job of looking after it. Yeah, so the speed of this machine is 1500 stitches per minute. Difference to the Moxie ST. Pete, is it 2200?
I think it is 2200, yes.
So
it's pretty fast.
This is a lot slower, obviously, but we don't always stitch at breakneck speed.
In real life situations,
you don't need it.
No, I mean, a typical user on the Moxie ST might be using it at 35% speed, maybe.
Yeah.
So what's that? That's about it's a third, about 750 stitches per minute.
Yeah.
So that's about half speed on the Pfaff. So
exactly.
I mean, at a normal speed, that motor maximum speed makes really very little difference.
Exactly. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? You know, we sort of look at these speeds, and sometimes when people are doing it for commercial reasons and they're doing edge-to-edge quilting using computerized system, obviously that can be a bit more relevant. But for our sit-down customers, not so. I always make the comparison with the sports car. It's capable of doing 150 miles an hour, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be driving it at that speed all the time. Really nice stitch. Do you want to come and have a look at this, Pete? In a minute, when you're ready. I mean, I did that pretty much just by kind of guesswork of the tension. Sounded great. That's the stitching on the front, and I've got some stitching on the back there, which is actually really nice with a so fine, that is. So you can really see how well that's stitched.
So you're not so fine in the bobbin on that one?
Yes. You can, I mean, we talked about this in the foundation workshop last week. You know, there are tried and tested starting points that we would recommend for people. But if you've set the bobbin tension correctly with using the drop test, and then we set the top tension, we can use any combination. You know, we've done situations where you're quilting from the back with really, really thick bobbin thread and much finer on the top, or even metallic on the top. You know, it's all about balance. In fact, I likened it the other day. I was thinking about it. It's like, it's a tug of war, right? Everybody says it's a tug of war. The tension's a tug of war. But what you've got to be careful of is not having it so loose that you don't get a decent stitch, but not so tight that you end up with both threads having too much tension. So too light would be a whole load of jockeys doing the tug of war, and the sumo wrestlers doing the tug of war as the top tension, the bottom tension, fighting each other, and it's sort of pucker in your fabric. You don't want puckers in your fabric. Now, that was a little demonstration. It's on our Preloved Longarms website. It's available right now for you to come over and have a little test drive if you're thinking about a long arm. We've also got a Capri, we've got a Mara ST, and we've got the Moxie ST. So a lovely arrangement of long arms. Also, if people just want a straight stitch machine, we've got two gorgeous straight stitch machines. We've got the Janome HD9 and the Juki, the TL2200 QVP Mini, which is a fabulous machine. Both of them are lovely. I've got one, an old Pfaff, rather similar to the HD9, which I've used for all my piecing for the last 18 years. Absolutely brilliant workhorse machines, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. More space under the long arm on the HD9. And a little bit more powerful motor on the Mini. So great machines. We are going to be at the Malvern Quilt Show. Did we talk about the dates for Malvern, Pete?
I didn't know. No.
Okay, so Malvern Quilt Show dates, the week after Newcastle. I mean, we are just suckers for punishment, aren't we? We just going from Newcastle to Malvern, but we're at home. Malvern, we're at home, so we don't mind that one so much in terms of being away from home. But the Malvern Quilt Show is on from Friday, Saturday and Sunday on October the
18th to the 20th of October.
18th to the 20th of October. And we will be demonstrating not only Handy Quilter long arms, but also Juki domestic machines. Whoop, whoop. We love the Jukis. They have such fantastic features. They've brought over from the industrial side of the Jukis, and they are really got a brilliant selection of machines. We're going to be joined by Nathan from Juki, so Katie will be on the stand with us, and Pete and I. So, you know, come along, come and enjoy the Malvern Quilt Show. It's a great run up to Christmas. You might even find some mince pies there. And when you come along, have a look. If you're in the market for a new domestic machine, check out the Jukis. We think you'll love them as much as we do. Absolutely. And what's interesting is going around to lots of different customers, the number of people who've got that little QVP 2200 Mini for doing their piecing. Isn't it true? Pete's just nodding.
Very popular, yeah.
It's a really popular machine. We love it. So come along to the show, say hi, pick up your badge that says, well, if you're in the market for a long arm, we've got a new badge, haven't we, Pete? I haven't got one out, but I think I showed it previously. It says, I'd love a handy quilter. So you can come along, pick up your badge if you'd like. Alternatively, if you've already got a handy quilter, come and say hello. We'll wish you a Merry Christmas, even though it's only October. We won't give you a mince pie, but there are some available probably in the restaurant. And you can pick up a badge that says, I love my handy quilter. There we go. The other thing to mention, now I've stopped sewing, is that we've got the Pro Stitcher Zoom talks, lecture demos, using simulation with Susan Manry. Now Susan, honestly, she's just the most lovely person, and I met her at Salt Lake City a number of years ago, slightly place dropping, at Salt Lake, at Handy Quilter Academy, and I sat next to Susan and got to know her. Then I went to one of her classes, Honestly, she knows so much about Pro Stitcher, but she's got really good instruction on how to use it. And I honestly think it will take you to another level. It did for me. It was a bit of a game changer going to that class with Susan, because it really opened my eyes up to the possibilities of what Pro Stitcher can do. So we've got 2 different Zoom sessions, okay? One is for Pro Stitcher, both premium and light people. So that's for all of the machines, from the Moxies all the way through to the Infinity. So if you're a Pro Stitcher user and you want to see if you can get more out of it than what you've been doing, like you've just been doing edge to edge, you don't know how to fit in corners, you don't know how to resize stuff, you don't know how to reposition it after a shutdown, you just keep going, you don't even answer the door because you're just petrified about turning it off. Come sign up for that Zoom class, 2 hours every month, and you can watch it on catch up if you can't make it. 6 to 8 p.m. The Wednesday dates are on our website, the links are on our website. If you go to our workshops and our Zoom workshops, you'll see there's 2. That's the first one. So that'll take you to another level on Pro Stitcher, okay? We've got a Facebook group to support it as well. So if you've got questions in between, Carolyn, James and I, mostly Carolyn probably, because we'll be going to go to Newcastle and Malvern, and we'll be away. But Carolyn will be stepping into the breach and answering any questions that you may have. And it's lovely because Carolyn she's really keen on learning and stuff as well. So, we're all on that little learning curve together. The second one is Pro Stitcher Designer. So 2 weeks after next Wednesday, the Pro Stitcher Designer class is starting. You would have got Pro Stitcher Designer. If you've had Pro Stitcher within the last 3-4 years, you'll have got Pro Stitcher Designer if you bought premium as part of the package. And for most people, I say, just keep it to one side unless are you into digitizing? No, I'm not into digitizing. Okay, don't worry about it for now. There are some people who've got into it because they do desktop publishing, or they've done other things with like layers, Corel Draw and all that sort of stuff. If you've done that, then you kind of get it much quicker. Or if you're into embroidery design, pest design and stuff like that. Now, the lovely thing about Designer is there are so many different ways of using it, and to customize your quilt, to produce pantographs for others, to be able to take in embroidery designs, like on Long Arm Learning Curve, Jo Benson recently showed how she did a zebra. That would have been from an embroidery design that she's blown up. That's the kind of thing. You can use Pro Stitcher Designer, convert it to a handy quilter format, and you can stitch that out. How much fun is that? The other thing you can do, of course, is you can record. So one of the things that Carly Porter does is she records her feathers, then she goes into Pro Stitcher Designer and she tweaks them and edits them, and then those become her designs. So that's the kind of thing you could do. Another thing you could do, you've got your grandson comes over and writes something, like their little signature, draws a little house, whatever. You can scan that and use that as a backdrop and do little points. It does your your straight lines, it does curves, it does Bezier curves, etc. And then you can create a digital image. There's a few different ways of doing it. That's one of them. And you can then do that. It does do auto digitizing, but sometimes auto digitizing takes as long to undo the bits it auto did in the wrong order as it does if you just did click, 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 click. So just to say, that's the kind of thing that we do. We learn about those things on Pro Stitcher Designer. Susan is running that class as well. And if you've never seen Susan before, if her name means nothing to you, have a look at the links I've put up for the YouTubes that she did, both with Vicky Hoff, and on one of the other, what's it called? There's another channel that she was on. Anyway, Susan, just lovely pace, handles everything, really calm, great. So there we go. I've done my selling thing on Susan because I really feel like it's a great opportunity, and in order to make the most of your Pro Stitcher, investing your time in a couple of hours a month is a really good investment of your time. I know that from my own experience of learning software packages, okay? If you just dabble in them, it doesn't go in. So get that base and then you'll have it. And then when you come back to it, it'll just be refreshing what you already know. It's not as hard. Ooh,
and it's a good value way of doing it as well, isn't it? You don't have to leave your home. Yeah.
All in the comfort of your home. Meeting with your like-minded compatriots of Pro Stitcher and Handy Quilter from around the UK. There you go. be a nice thing to do every month.
And there are limited numbers on that class, aren't there?
Yes, there are, because Susan likes to be able to give a good quality in terms of, you know, questions that she might have to answer. Doesn't want hundreds of people on. So no, there's a limited number of people. So do sign up if you're interested. It starts on Wednesday next week, 2nd of October. We're into October already, hence the mince pies. And if you're interested in that, sign up ASAP, because Susan will be sending out the instructions, and we want you to get everything installed on simulation on your laptops in advance. Okay. Anything else, Peter Holpin?
No other questions online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. What did you want to say?
No, I think I was just thinking whether we'd covered everything we wanted to cover.
Yeah, no, I think we've done everything. We've covered thread, the panels, the perfect practice glide packs. We've covered domestics. We've covered shows. Newcastle and Malvern coming up. We've covered Pro Stitcher. We've covered Jo Avery coming tomorrow. Come along! Don't miss this great opportunity. Jo is such an interesting person, and she's been quilting for about 30 years on domestics as well as long arms. So if you're not a long arm quilter and you happen to be watching this, then come along. Give us a call if it's too late. You know, if you want to book, give me a call tomorrow on my mobile. I'll be in. Okay, Pete, we're going to say goodbye.
We're going to say goodbye.
We're going to say goodbye. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Stay dry. I know it's good for the ducks, but stay dry. And I hope nobody's got any problems with flooding wherever they are. Okay, and we'll see you next week. We'll be online next week, won't we? I think so. All right, see you then. Bye.